Right, so shall we all begin by chanting the Metta Sutta? In fact, I have got the handout for you. There are only 8 copies. So one of you by accident, I just you can find them. Maybe. You know this is already okay. Or maybe someone else has different answer. You don't understand. More mystery. That's pretty funny. Yes, yes, of course. Yes. Okay. Oh, I have it on my screen. Okay. Now, shall we chant the Sutta or read it actually? Okay. Now, okay. He who is skilled in the beneficial and wishes to attain that state of peace should train in this way. Capable and upright, thoroughly honest and truly straight, gentle and easy to instruct, humble and without arrogance, contented and easy to support, with few duties and a simple way of life, peaceful in faculties, discreet and wise, modest and not greedy when among family. Never do even the slightest thing that the wise would reprove. May all beings be happy and secure. May their hearts be filled with joy. Whatever beings there may be, weak or strong, long or large, medium or short, subtle or coarse, without exception, seen or unseen, dwelling far or near, those already born and those yet to come. May all beings be happy. Let none deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Let none through anger or ill will wish suffering upon another. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her own life, even so, let one cultivate a boundless heart toward all beings. Let one cultivate a boundless heart toward the whole world, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, free from hatred and enmity. Whether standing, walking, sitting, or lying down, so long as one is awake, let one sustain this mindfulness. This is called the divine abiding here and now, not falling into wrong views, but virtuous and endowed with insight. Having removed craving for sensual pleasures, one will never again return to birth in a womb. What a beautiful sutta. Can you feel the meaning of the sutta? When we read, we don't really want to rush through. We want the meaning to really sink in our heart. We want to really, try to let the meaning gently, what is the word? Settle into our heart or sink into our heart, so that when one day when we practice enough, it will come naturally, even if we are faced with difficult situations. So this is the Metta Sutta. It looks very easy, very simple, very easy to understand. But in fact, there is an abundance of doctrines, very useful things that we need to learn. So now, before we move on to the explanation itself, I would like to introduce to you the 11 advantages of loving kindness. When we practice metta, what benefits can we get? Now, there are 11 benefits illustrated or mentioned in various suttas. There are two diets. First three, 1 to 3, they are to do with sleep. So one sleeps well, awakens happily, and no nightmares. So once, does anyone find any difficulty falling asleep or often have nightmares? You do? Okay. Now, Metta Sutta or Metta Bhavana is your antidote, is your solution. And does any of you sometimes feel like waking up on the wrong side of the bed? On the wrong side of the bed. You don't have this saying, wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Yes, that means you wake up not knowing why, but you just don't feel happy. You feel stroppy. You feel like, I really don't want to get up. That's like get up on the wrong side of the bed. Not wake up. But anyway, that's the meaning of it. So if you practice Metta Bhavana, then your sleep is going to be really sweet, and you will even have sweet dreams, very peaceful dreams. And the reason is because when you practice metta, you will constantly feeling that serenity, that peacefulness. So coming from within, if your mind is constantly being purified and you purge it of the ill will, it will become like, really gentle and soft. So when you fall asleep without any grudges, without any ill will, but with all the blessings for all human beings, including ourselves, then the sleep is going to be really peaceful. You probably won't have many dreams because your sleep will just be very, very, very tranquil. So we will wake up feeling really well rested, and there is no waking up on the wrong side of the bed, always on the right side, and not having nightmares. This is very true. You may even have the dreams that make you feel you are very blessed. Okay, I personally find these, that is, I have experienced this. Likewise, for the next triad, 4, 5, and 6. The next triad is about being pleasing to all sentient beings. So not only to human beings, but also to spirits. Not only to spirits, but also to animals. And because you are constantly sending loving kindness, sending good wishes to all sentient beings, including human beings and spirits and animals, they will be friendly towards you. And the devas, the devas, deities, they are on a higher planet of existence than us. We can send our good wishes to them as well. We can wish them be free from ill will, free from hostility. May they dwell in happiness always. But they basically would feel empathetic joy for us doing the metta bhavana. So they would, not only the human beings and spirits and animals would find us amiable, the devas too would find us really good people, and they will protect us. And this is very true as well. Because right now I live in a forest hermitage in Taiwan. this forest hermitage had been closed for 4 years during the COVID, and no one was living there. It was like really gloomy, really spooky. But still, some people go there and visit sometimes, and they would find the birds, like praying birds, very vicious, vicious, and they would come down very sharply and then pat on their heads to kind of drive them off. In fact, this is very similar to the background story of the Metta Sutta. But I'm not going to tell the story today because we have got too many things to get through. And ever since I moved in, I started chanting Metta Sutta every morning and evening. And whenever I walk around, it is a pine forest, by the way, and the trees are all very tall. Whenever I walk around, I keep sending loving kindness to all beings. And there is another tune, Sappe Satta. Have you ever heard of that? Avera Hongdu, Abhya Paja Hongdu, Amigo Ka Hongdu, Sukhi Hatana, Pariharandu. This tune will come into our next session. Right after this one, it's a metta chanting. So I keep doing this, and very soon neighbors tell me, and visitors tell me that they find the atmosphere in this forest hermitage very different. It now feels very peaceful, very calm, and it's kind of full of blessing. So this is very true. And if you start practicing this, you will find that things around you work very well. The good conditions will come together for you, for whatever you want to do. You will find things going far more smoothly than it would have had you not practiced metta. Well, so maybe you can have a cut-off point. Say, from now on, I will practice metta. Just chant this Metta Sutta that you have in your hand. But really, when you chant it, don't just go through the words. You truly feel it. So don't rush. You truly feel it. Like this afternoon, someone told me that sometimes when she practices Metta Bhavana, she doesn't feel the loving kindness, but sometimes she does. So don't worry about that. If sometimes you don't, that's okay, because we are beginnings. We are at the beginning stage. We just keep on trying and keep on feeling that state of loving kindness within us, starting from ourselves, feeling really loving and really kind to ourselves. And then gradually you will be able to extend this loving kindness to other beings. But even so, even before we reach that stage, just by repeatedly reciting the sutta, gradually the meaning will sink in. Yeah? Okay, so the two triads. And the seventh advantage is one remains unharmed by fire, poison, or weapons. Now, this is something that beginners shouldn't be trying. This is something that can be attained when someone is in jhana, the concentration, the samadhi of Metta Bhavana. And I will be telling a story about the Buddha, an example of Buddha not being harmed by any danger. Okay, and also another monk. It is a true story told by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. Okay, but not today. We'll wait until tomorrow or the next or the third day. Okay, so every day we have something interesting other than the sutta itself to share with you. Number 8, one's mind concentrates quickly. This concentration here doesn't just mean normal concentration, like I concentrate on my studies, No, it means samadhi. Okay? The reason is because when you're filled with loving kindness, there is no antagonism within you. You find yourself incredibly patient. Because when we are practicing our meditation, a lot of times we feel impatient. Why keep repetitively focusing on the subject, the object, and you start to feel agitated? You want to go off and focus on something else. You think about the past and the future and never now, right? So with metta, it solves this problem because your mind, in order to practice metta, your mind would gradually become gentle and it's so soft that it becomes malleable. If you have studied Abhidharma, the Theravada Abhidharma, a comprehensive manual of Abhidharma compiled by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi, it will tell you about the 6 pairs of wholesome, wholesome cetasikas, mental factors, and one of them is malleable or wieldy. That means when you tell your mind to do something, it will listen to you. It will. Now, the reason why we can't concentrate, even though we know that we need to concentrate during this hour, during these 45 minutes, the heart doesn't listen to you because it has got its own will. It simply just wants excitement. Oh, this is too boring. Repetition and repetition. Too boring. I want something interesting. So you go off and then find something else to focus on. You might even open your eyes, look at your neighbors, what they are doing. Oh, are they dozing off? Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm really proud of myself. Or you might find, well, what am I going to do after this retreat? You will be planning, or you think about the past, or some argument may come up in your mind, some conversation may come into your mind. So your mind is not listening to what you tell it to do. But with metta, it's different because your mind becomes very gentle and it listens. It becomes wieldy, when you tell it to do something, it will listen to you. It becomes malleable. You want it to become square, it becomes square. You want it to become round, it becomes round. It listens to you. That is why when you practice loving kindness, you can concentrate quickly. So while we can learn all the other meditation subjects, never forget to practice metta bhavana at the same time. It will help you to perfect or to achieve in another one. It will help you to keep focusing on your subject metta, your meditation subject. Okay, number 9. This is quite easy to understand. One's countenance is serene. Why? Because there are 4 kinds of originations of material form, materiality. It's from Abhidharma as well. 4 kinds. The karma, origination from karma, origination from nutriments, the food that we eat, yeah, and origination from consciousness, our mind, and origination from temperature, the climate, or other environmental factors. So this one, countenance being serene, comes from origination of mind. Because you're constantly filled with joy. You're wearing a smile all the time. Obviously, it's quite natural that your countenance is serene. And because of that, look, you sleep well, awakens happily, and you are popular with all these beings and protected by them. And number 10, one dies without confusion. Now, this is important because well, you probably know already, if you die with confusion, then you're probably going to be reborn in an unwholesome realm. Yeah? So this is important as well. Now, number 11, even if one does not penetrate further, this penetration here means having inside knowledge through vipassana. Even if you haven't practiced vipassana up to a further level, one is reborn in the Brahma world. Why? Because you have, with metta-bhavana, if you practice it hard enough, you attain jhana. If you attain jhana, then you are able to, if you haven't lost the jhana by the deathbed, you will be able to be reborn in a fine material world. Our world is a central world, a world of the planet of existence of sensual pleasure, and the plane of existence above us is the fine material plane of existence, or sphere, and the one above it is the immaterial sphere. So this Brahma world means the fine material sphere. Okay, so well, we will talk about this at the in verse 10 when one perfected metta-bhavana. So these are the 11 advantages of loving kindness. To quickly recap, the first 3 about sleep, the next 3 about being popular and being protected, and the 7th, being unharmed by fire, poison, or weapons. And then one gains concentration easily, and one has a very serene countenance, not dying with confusion, and can be reborn in Brahma world. Okay, so but these are not the only benefits of practicing metta-bhavana. There are others, and I will leave it to you to discover. Okay, so these are the 11 advantages. Now we will move into the real core of our session this evening. Structural map of the Karaniya Metta Sutta. The Sutta or Sutra, this is the Pali, yeah? You know Pali, and you know Sanskrit, definitely. Sanskrit will spell it as Sutra, S-U-T-R-A, but Sutta is the Pali. Pali is an ancient Indian language, which is very similar to the language that the Buddha would have spoken. Okay? So Karaniya, the Sutta, the discourse of Karaniya Metta. Karaniya means what is ought to be done. What is ought to be done when practicing metta? The discourse of what is ought to be done when practicing metta. And in fact, the sutta itself is just called Metta Sutta. But the reason why there is Karaniya, you will see this very often, because there are so many versions of Metta Sutta in different Nikayas. Nikaya are the Theravada version of Agamas. You know that? But anyway, it's okay even if you don't. Gradually, we'll get to know more about these things. So Karaniya, put in front of that, so that we can distinguish this one from other Metta Sutta. Okay, from loving kindness to liberation. Right. To start with, we will explore the structure of this sutta. From what we have read now, it probably wouldn't strike your mind immediately, but now we will gradually, work our way through. There are 10 verses just now. If you see the handout on your if you see your handout, you will see that there are 10 verses. So it's 4 parts. The first 2.5 verses and part 2 and part 3 are 6.5 verses. That's about samadhi. Part 1 is about Sila, ethical foundation. So this is Sila. Sila is virtue, okay? Good virtue. Sila is part 1, part 2 and 3 is Samadhi, and part 4 is Panya. Panya is wisdom. Wisdom derived from the word that we just had, penetration, which is inside knowledge. Okay? So, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, that is the order of how we should practice metta and what metta leads to. So the whole Metta Sutta is a path to the peaceful state of Nibbana. Now, part 1, ethical foundation. The first 2.5 verses, it begins with preparing the mind, setting the goal. And then it also tells us 14 Karaniyas. Remember Karaniya? What is all to be done? So the do's, what is all to be done? There are 14 virtues listed, 14 virtues to cultivate. And the 15th one is Akaraniya. The prefix means negative. So what is not to be done? So what is not to be done? That is an ethical guardrail. That's the first part. You must lay down the foundation very, very well, very, very solidly in order to achieve anything in any practice, not just metta itself. But these virtues and what is not to be done, the guardrail, are listed in the Metta Sutta. Well, a lot of times in our life, we may hear people saying, "Oh, this is the quickest way to get somewhere." But that is not the mentality that we should have when we are practicing in order to gain Nibbana, to attain Nibbana. Not on the path of the Noble Eightfold Path. Why? When we see someone successful in practicing something and get somewhere really quick, we think, oh, that person is really successful by doing just that thing. We only see that particular moment. Maybe that person can achieve something within a few weeks, maybe a few years. Okay, but you see someone successful and you think that path is good for you. But perhaps that person has taken 9 steps before he went on to that 10th step. And you feel that that is the shortcut for you. And then you follow suit. You think you will be able to do that as well. But you have forgotten that person has different conditions, different karma, different paramita. Paramita means, the assets that you have in order to attain in the Noble Eightfold Path in your practice. The person has got different paramita, different health condition. Maybe the person is very strong. That person can concentrate very well as soon as he hits the cushion, he can concentrate very well and attain Nibbana very quickly, or attain jhana very quickly. But then that might not be us. So what we do, we start from the very foundation. We need to know that. Do not try to go for shortcuts, because that may make a long delay. Okay? So that is very, very important. We will spend quite some time on this bit. So remember the question earlier? Someone said, why do I not feel loving kindness sometimes when I practice, but sometimes I do? because sometimes the conditions are correct for you, and sometimes the conditions are not there for you to, for your loving kindness to arise. And why do you rely so much on the external conditions? Because within yourself, the metta is not strong enough. And why is it not strong enough? Because there is no solid foundation laid down. Do any of you do gardening? Fantastic. So we all know that if you want to do gardening, you need to prepare the soil, right? Prepare the ground, remove all the grass, all the weeds, and then you need to select good seeds. Okay, Metta Bhavana, definitely a good seed. All the meditation methods, definitely if they are the right ones taught by the Buddha, they are the good seeds, yes? But then what is the essential thing? It needs to have the right soil, not so many rocks, and then also the right condition like sun, air, and water. Yeah? So the soil, we need to really spend time preparing the ground. Make sure that these weeds are like defilements. And what gets rid of defilements at the very preliminary level? Sila, virtue. Yeah? So do not overlook sila. It's very, very important. Now, this ethical guardrail even tells us, do not even do the slightest wrong that the wise would reprove. You see, when we are told 14 virtues to cultivate, we are cultivating them, but then a lot of times we might be making mistakes as well. Maybe we have cultivated them and we get maybe 8 out of 10, or maybe sometimes 5 out of 10. But then when we feel that we have reached a good level of practice of cultivation of sila, of virtue, we sometimes may still slip because our old habits may come in still. So this ethical guardrail tells not to do even the slightest thing that the wise would reprove. And that is very important. You do not simply cultivate those virtues actively. You also need to put on a strong, clear comprehension of what you are doing, not to do anything wrong, to counter, to diminish the strength of what you have cultivated, not to cut it down. Yeah. Okay, so part 2 comes the core of meditation. And so you start once you have laid down a good foundation of virtue, you start then send good wishes, a universal good wish. May all beings be well and happy. And not only do you wish all beings be well and happy, you need to send it towards all beings. All beings here, as the Sutta will show us, the Sutta lists a number of varieties of all species of sentient beings. And why do we need to go into so many details? Because when we send out universal good wishes, it's very different. No faces or no specific beings would come into our mind. It's just universal. Like we don't see them. We don't really have very specific impression of them. They don't really stay in our mind. But if we want to practice it in great detail, we need to send our good wishes to each and every type of beings. So in the real practice, when you reach to that level, there are about 500 ways to send your good wishes to all different types of beings. In fact, in the evening, in the next session, when we do the metta chanting, you will see what I mean by this, to all beings. So in very specific details. And also we need to develop non-harming. Okay, we won't go into much detail here until we get to the explanation itself. Then part 3 is the peak. Once you start practicing this, and then you will reach the peak. Now the peak has a very beautiful analogy, a mother's love. We have read it just now, right? Just as a mother would protect her only child with her own life. This is actually very difficult. For even our enemies, we have to have that kind of mentality. We have to have that kind of capacity of mind. We shouldn't distinguish whether they are akin to us, whether they are our enemies, whether they have left a trauma in our life, whether they have harmed us in the past. We treat them all equally, without any distinction. That is actually very difficult. But it is not necessarily unattainable. Even before reaching jhana, I think one can do that. But this is if you can do it in a very perfect way, that would be in jhana. And then you should send that level of loving kindness without any boundaries in all directions and in all postures. So whether standing, walking, sitting, or lying down. Remember? So if someone misses our meditation session in the future, I hope in your bed you will be practicing metta lying down still. Okay? And then you will be excused. Now, the last part, path to liberation. The combination of all the combination of metta bhavana itself will get us third fruit eventually. But then this is not the end, because third fruit is definitely going to lead to nibbana, because third fruit will not return to the central realm, our central sphere anymore. It will be reborn in the pure abodes. We mentioned it just now in the 11th benefits, remember? And then it is in the pure abodes that one will attain nibbana. So, okay. So, to recap, foundation, never ignore them, and never just be very careful when we lay down the foundation. Be very meticulous when we lay down the foundation. And then start doing the meditation. You will find it a lot more easy. But that doesn't mean without having perfected virtue, one cannot start practicing. One can still start practicing just to get familiar with the steps. But then gradually, if you really want to attain something, then really work on the virtues. And then once you start doing the meditation, gradually make it boundless, without any boundaries. Okay? And then eventually aspire to attain the third fruit. And that will lead us, that is a path to liberation. So that is the structure of the Metta Sutta. First 2.5 verses in part 1 on virtue, and the 6.5 verses on the meditation itself, and the expansion. The third one is the expansion of meditation, and the fourth one from first fruit to third fruit. Okay, of course, the fourth fruit will be coming after the third fruit. The fourth fruit is Nibbana, but it is not described in the sutta itself. But that is a definite. So I put it into a parenthesis, culminating in Nibbana. That's the fourth fruit. Okay, so let's now then dive into the essential ethical foundation, the first 2.5 verses. The first one, the first 1A is skillful orientation. Now we need to take, if we want to go anywhere, we need to take bearing, right? We need to find the right direction. Now there is no use if it is no use if we say, oh, I have got a very good car, very powerful engine, and very good wheels, and I have excellent health. I can concentrate. I can drive so many hours. I have good, excellent driving skills, and I want to go somewhere north, but then I keep going south. You will never get there. So take the bearing is very important. Knowing where we are going is very, very important. So one needs to know, for one skilled in pursuing what is truly beneficial. What is truly beneficial? Skilled in what is truly beneficial, we need to know what is truly beneficial. Now, in our mundane life, some people may say, I want to make a good fortune. That is truly beneficial. Some people may say, I want to have a good family. I want to marry someone rich. I want to marry someone really pretty, very beautiful. Or I want to run a very successful political career. Well, all these things are beneficial, could be beneficial in this lifetime. But what is truly beneficial, the Buddha tells us, is something that goes on for lives and lives and lives to come. As long as we are stuck in the samsara, the cycle of rebirth, what is truly beneficial is that ultimate aim. That is nibbana, liberation, or Buddhahood, if we are practicing Mahayana. But actually, these two are not necessarily in conflict with with each other. So we need to know, first of all, identify, knowing what is truly beneficial. So if one skilled in pursuing what is truly beneficial, if one has already identified what is truly beneficial, one need to be skilled in practicing in order to pursue that beneficial thing. And what is that beneficial thing? That is santam padam, that peaceful state. And what is that peaceful state? That is nibbana. So skillful orientation, that is the very first verse, the very first half of verse 1. And then from verse 1b to 2, that is the 14 karaniyas, the 14 ought to be done, the 14 good virtues. Okay, so it is 20:43. I think we ought to have stopped at 8:25, but we had a late start, so we had a late closing. So today, I think we ought to stop here, and perhaps does anyone need a break to go to the gents and ladies? Yes, okay. Well, why don't we take 5-10 minutes? How many minutes do you need? 5 minutes? Okay. Shall we take 5 minutes break? And then we will go on to the next session. No, we'll do it here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then we will we'll continue. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it at the in fact, during these 5 minutes, could we bring the or actually you can just, because it's a short sitting only, we'll be doing something first, so we can actually do it just on our seat. Is it okay? Because whether standing, walking, sitting, or lying down, so we'll do the sitting meditation. Yeah? Okay, so 5 minutes break.
That will take us to 8:50. Yeah, 8:50. We'll be back. Is this tune okay?
Okay, it's 10 to now. Please quickly take a seat. Hello everyone, welcome back. So we still have one missing. She's gone to in the bathroom. It's all right. She can do walking meditation. Okay, so has anyone heard this song before? Yes? Yes, definitely, yes. So this is the metta chanting that we will be singing, but it's not just the singing itself. It's actually through this beautiful melody. We would like to let all these different types of beings. We will send them good wishes in all directions without any boundaries. The word boundary means you distinguish between who are closer to you, who may be your enemy, or whom you might not normally care about, like those, hungry ghost realms, or like those people who live far away from you. We normally do not really care about them. But through chanting this to a tune, very peaceful tune, you may gradually develop that kind of loving kindness. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to ask you about the key, because the original key is actually quite high. It's like this. No, this is not. No, the original one. Oh yeah, this is the original one. Can you sing to this pitch? Yes?
Can't sing at all.
You can't sing at all. You mean not even with some, if I have minus the tone, like the tune?
I guess my wife says I'm a very good singer.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch your humor. But doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because your wife isn't here.
She's in the other.
It doesn't matter. She won't hear you. And also, when you radiate your loving kindness, it's not for anyone to criticize or anything. It's your good wishes to anyone, to everyone, all the sentient beings. So was that tune okay? I mean that pitch. No, that's too high. This is more beautiful to me because the other ones that have been altered the pitch level. So is this too high? Okay, shall we try then? Yeah? Okay. Now we will sing along, okay? Metta chanting. Now prepare your mind as you prepare the ground. Like in the afternoon. Try and sing along. May I be free from physical suffering. Sukhihatanam pariharami. Mama matapitu acharyacha nati vidaja sabrama charinoja. Fellow Dharma farers, May they be free from enmity and danger, be free from mental suffering, free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May all meditators in this compound be free from enmity and danger, be free from mental suffering, free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May all monks in this compound, novice monks, laymen and laywomen, disciples, be free from enmity and danger, free from mental suffering, free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May our donors of the full supports, free from enmity and danger, free from mental suffering. Try and sing along. Free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May our guardian devas, guardian saints in this monastery, in this dwelling, in this compound, may the guardian devas be free from enmity and danger, free from physical, mental suffering, free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. Some is very beautiful. May all beings, all breathing things, all creatures, all individuals, all personalities, all females, all male, all noble ones, Anacharya, all well-beings, all devas, Manusa, all humans, Abhidhi, Adhika, all those in the four woeful planes. Be free from enmity and dangers, free from mental suffering, free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May all beings be free from suffering. May whatever they have gained not be lost. All beings are owners of their own karma. So in all directions, in the eastern direction, the western direction, northern direction, southern direction, southern southeast direction, northwest direction, northeast, southwest, and direction below, direction above. May all beings Or breathing thing, all creatures, all individuals, all personalities, all females, all male, all noble one, all worldlings, all devas, all humans. All those in the whole woeful plane. Be free from enmity and dangers. Be free from mental suffering and physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May all beings be free from suffering. May whatever they have gained not be lost. All beings are owners of their own karma, kamasakha. As far as the highest plane of existence, to as far down as the lowest plane. In the entire universe, whatever being that move on earth, may they be free of mental suffering and enmity, and from physical suffering and danger. As far as the highest plane of existence, to as far down as the lowest plane. In the entire universe, whatever beings that move on water, may they be free of mental suffering and enmity, and from physical suffering and danger. As far as the highest plane of existence, to as far down as the lowest plane. In the entire universe, whatever beings that move in air, may they be free of mental suffering and enmity, and from physical suffering and danger. Nine minutes, but a beautiful song, but a beautiful chanting. So if we make this available, which we will do on the internet every night or every now and again, if not every night, you chant this before going to bed. Gradually, you will be able to get those triad about sleep. Sleep happily and wake up happily, always on the right side, and no nightmares. Okay, so that's the metta chanting. Now we are going to chant again this metta sutta. It's never too much. Do not be afraid of repetition. We want this to really sink into our mind. Okay, but this version is actually adapted from. We have a version of Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation as well. It is it is actually closer to the sutta itself. But we will chant this version when we are more familiar with the Metta Sutta itself. we will chant this version tomorrow evening. Okay? But this evening, because we want to get you to really familiarize yourselves with the content of Metta Sutta, so that tomorrow evening, when we start explaining on each verse, you will be familiar with the content and you know which verse we are talking about. Okay, so shall we do the chanting again? Now again, do not rush. Try and really have the meaning shown up in your mind. Really feel what the word is telling you. Okay, now let's start. He who is skilled in the beneficial and wishes to attain that state of peace should train in this way. Capable and upright, thoroughly honest and truly straight, gentle and easy to instruct, humble and without arrogance, contented and easy to support, with few duties and a simple way of life, peaceful in faculties, discreet and wise, modest and not greedy when among family. Never do even the slightest thing that the wise would reprove. May all beings be happy and secure. May their hearts be filled with joy. Whatever beings there may be, weak or strong, long or large, medium or short, subtle or coarse, without exception, seen or unseen, dwelling far or near, those already born and those yet to come. May all beings be happy. Let none deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Let none through anger or ill will wish suffering upon another. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her own life, even so, let one cultivate a boundless heart toward all beings. Let one cultivate a boundless heart toward the whole world, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, free from hatred and enmity, whether standing, walking, sitting, or lying down. So long as one is awake, let one sustain this mindfulness. This is called the divine abiding here and now, not falling into wrong views, but virtuous and endowed with insight, having removed from craving for sensual pleasures. One will never again return to birth in a womb. Okay, so now we have done the two types of chanting, and they will gently ease us into the mood of meditation. So you're happy sitting doing the meditation? So now prepare ourselves. Do you need a guide again? No, it will take a long time. Do you remember how to the small sentences? No? The four sentences? May I be free from ill will, free from hostility. Okay. May I be free from hostility. Pause and feel what it is like when hostility is absent. Now gently put your hands on your knees or just let it end naturally. And you can close your eyes or lower your gaze and sit in a comfortable position. Now repeat these 4 sentences. May I be free from hostility. You can repeat it quietly in your mind and feel what it is like when hostility is absent. May I be free from hostility. We do it in our mind. May I be free from ill will and the wish to harm. May I be free from ill will and the wish to harm. You pause and feel what it is like when the heart is free from ill will and any wish to harm. May I be free from distress and suffering. May I be free from distress and suffering. We pause and feel the ease of simple. Feel what it is like when heaviness and suffering soften. May I be free from distress and suffering. May I continue to dwell in happiness. May I continue to dwell in happiness. We pause and feel the ease of simple, steady happiness. May I continue to dwell in happiness. So keep repeating these sentences slowly several times. May I be free from hostility. May I be free from ill will and the wish to harm. May I be free from distress and suffering. May I continue to dwell in happiness. And find one sentence out of this 4, the one that resonates with you most. Focus on that sentence and remember the 3 steps: perceive, abide, and re-establish. As you recite the sentence, perceive yourself as free from hostility, free from ill will, free from suffering, or dwelling in happiness. And abide with that perception of yourself, dwelling in that peaceful and wholesome state. Allow the heart to dwell in this wholesome perception rather than merely repeating the words. Whenever the perception begins to fade, gently return to the sentence and re-establish it. The time is yours.
I mean, the time is yours to do meditation on your own. Sorry, when do, let me just check. It is actually, yes, that's actually the end. Now it's 15 past, quarter past now. So maybe we can just take 1 minute, at least 1 minute to do it on our own. Run late by 1 minute. Okay. So gradually open your eyes and we will do the returning of merit together. Okay. May all that we have studied, we have learned, that we have practiced, lead to our path, leading on to the Nibbana. Okay. Right. Okay. Now that's the end. Set up. Ball for Buddha. Second law. Third law. Next ball for teacher. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, everybody. I'm really grateful for this chance to be able to share what I've learned. Yes?
May we all be able to meditate in this room at 1:13 tomorrow?
You prefer?
Yes, much cooler.
Yeah. And you prefer to just sit on the chair without a cushion?
Sure.
I mean, if anyone prefers sitting on the cushion, you can by all means bring the cushion into this room. And you can keep it. Yeah. But we would use it every day. So if you want to leave it here, yeah. Yeah, put it on the table. You can keep it, but you need to bring it. Okay? That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, good night. Have a sound sleep. And you tell me whether all these chanting and practicing today has made left any good effect on your sleep quality. And you wake up. Make sure that you wake up on the right side of the bed. Okay? Good night. Yeah, on the right side of the bed. 好，谢谢，太感恩。 Yeah.
Within my company.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Joanne and what is that?
Oh, Josie?
Jody. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Like number 3
Yeah.
seems really harsh. It's like very like very strict. It's like
Not doing even the slightest thing
yeah,
that the
almost
wise
like,
would
yeah.
reprove.